Hey, welcome back to Sawmill. My name is Bill. It's Pirate Solutions Forestry, and I'm back at it today. It's very somber few days. I have a friend, very good friend, lives up the street from me who is dying, and he's in hospice right now. So I've been going over every morning for the last couple mornings and hanging out with him, and going to continue to do that. So I'm getting a real late start today. It's 2 o'clock. I have to cut some approximately 1 by 16s by 10 feet long for a customer, and they have to be clear. Now, he'll take anything 8, 10, 12, but he would like them as wide as possible. He's doing a restoration project on a very old house, probably 1600s, and the wainscoting in the house is all rough sawn. So he has to make some panels out of rough sawn pine, and he does not want any knots in it. So what I've done, and I apologize if I'm not all here, so much going on in my head, is that I've picked out a log that I just get in. That's a butt log, and it doesn't appear, it only has one knot on it that I see. So let me show you. So this is the big monster white pine. It is the butt log. You can see the bottom of the tree right there. The only knot that I see is right there by my finger. So I'm going to cut this off, and then I'm going to cut it off at 10 feet over here, a little bit over, like 10'4", and then see if I can get clear logs out of the middle of this. Now, one of the problems with big logs like this is sometimes you have hidden knots, which means essentially will be, if there are any knots in it, and I'm going to bet there are some, because I can actually see, maybe if you look right here, there's like maybe old remnants of a knot. And then on the other side, if I look around the tree, kind of where my finger is right there, there's kind of old remnants of knots. So there could be a couple small knots in this on the inside. If there are, we're going to be essentially grade sawing it. So what we'll do is we'll pick a clear face and we'll cut until we find a knot. And then maybe we'll flip it, pick a clear face, cut. He's going to be making panels out of them for the wainscoting. So he only needs 130 square feet. This log right here would do probably 300 square feet. Maybe he'll take more. I'm not sure. I'm going to treat it like he's going to take it all. And there's another interesting part to this order. And this is one I've never heard before. So he wants the rough sawn look. Well, that means that if the Stella Cut band cuts too smooth, he's not going to get it. And it's an interesting problem that I've never had before. So it's actually leading me to think that there is a possibility that once I get this into a cant, max cant, which is going to be somewhere around 16 by 16, um, I should take a Silvertip Turbo 7 and actually knock a tooth out of set to give myself some texture. So I think I'm just going to hope for the best. I'm going to mill it with the Turbo 7. It's the same one we were running the other day when we milled the big pine log. I didn't want to run a brand new one because I don't want it to cut perfect. I'd like to see some texture to it. So if this thing gets hurt a little bit in the process and then it starts cutting rough, I think that'll be better. It's really a weird, interesting problem when somebody says, I want the rough sawn look, and you wonder, because your bands are cutting so good, if you can give that to them. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this thing off, and we're going to cut it down and then throw it up on the mill. I'm going to take you over while I cut it, let you let you watch here, burn through it with the 372 XP. Just so you guys know, this is not your run-of-the-mill 372. I did not port it. However, it's a 2018 brand new. It does not have a lot of hours on it. And what that means is that this saw is pre a lot of junk that they put on 372s. So it's still got a lot of balls. I got a deal from someone who owed me a little bit of money on the saw, and he had been stockpiling them. When they switched over model years, he bought a whole bunch of them from the Husqvarna dealer, and I ended up with one. So I call this my small, easy to start saw. We're going to fire it off here. Then after I get this chunk off, we'll move you over there. We'll cut the butt end off it to get some of the flare off it. Then I'll pause you guys. We'll throw it up on the mill and we'll cut it out. So see if we get her fired up. All right, let's bring you over the other side. We'll blow the other side out. All right, so we'll get the saw put up. Saw really eats, and it's nice and sound log in the end there, and a nice sound log in the end here, and hopefully we are going to get a fairly big chunk that we can take out, not free, for nice clear wood. At least that's the plan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause you guys while I get this up on the mill, and then we'll attack it, see what we can cut. Hopefully we get some clear wood. So I'm going to pause you guys, and I'll be back in a minute. All right, so I got a 16 by 16 square on the end of that log right now scribed. I'm going to start taking it apart. We're going to look for all the bonus material we can because we don't know where we're going to get clear wood and where we aren't. My top cut is going to be around 19. I could probably go to 20. I think I'll try it at 20 and a half, probably. Try to take it to 20 and a half, see if that works, see if we can steal a board out of the top And we'll start taking it down. Hopefully I can flip this thing by hand so I don't have to start pausing this thing. Well, let's fire up and let's see what we can do. So we're going to come up to 20 and a half. Start about there, if that'll work. Looks good from here. I'm going to try to take it there, see what happens. Everything that I take will be true 1 inch on this deal. There are a couple little knots in this, but not bad. So we're going to come down to 19 3/8 and take another cut. Then flip it over. That gives us a true 1 inch board. I'm going to get this one out of the way. Let's see where we are. We still have room. We're still going to come down another board. 19 3/8 to 18 1/4. Let's go ahead and just do that right now. All right, we'll get these two boards off, then we can flip this thing over. These will be able to be edged. There is a small knot in the top board, but we're giving him lots of material to play with here. Let's just hope that these few knots in it. I'm going to hope that these knots don't continue, because if they do, they're going to wreck this whole project. This is a totally clear log, but we're at the mercy of the log at this point. Right here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 knots right in the middle of it. Hopefully they don't continue all the way to the center. Now there's more showing. This is going to be tough. Hopefully what we can do is we can steal clear boards off the outside of this thing. Once we get it into a cant and steal enough to make 130 square feet, there's knots in the middle. Stinks. Now I can, just for full disclosure, I lose nothing by doing this. I can use all the 1-inch material. So we're going to try and flip it over, see if we can do it by hand. It's going to be heavy. If we can't, I'll pause you guys. It's going to be one of those man things here for a second. The band's cutting beautiful. It's cutting flat and smooth. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 knots in the top here. I've got a good clear section from here over. So there's possibility for making his panels. They'll work out either way. Okay. All right, this is going to be a heavy bitch. Let's try it. Oh, I know. Oh, I can't. I need to get my log dog assist ready to go. Oh, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Okay, let's see if we can roll it. It's hitting on my end dog is kind of stuck underneath it. Okay. This is one of those logs you got to be careful with that it doesn't roll back on you. Get my end dog out of the way here so it doesn't drag on it anymore. Once I get this log is close to max down there. Once I get it cut on the other side, I'll be all set. Oh. There we go. All right, let's try it. All right. And at some point, this is going to become a machine flipper. I don't know that I'll be able to flip it square. Hopefully I get it shoved over. All right. So let's see where we need to take this top. 16. I might be able to steal a board. I'll go 17 and an eighth and then 16. See if I can steal a board out of it. I don't know. This one's kind of bowed like this, so we'll see. Yeah, it looks like that's going to miss in the middle. I'll take it off there anyway. This is probably going to have to come below 16. Come down to 16 and see what it cuts out like. This is going to have to go significantly below 16, at least to 14. It's going to mess with my overall. I got to take a measurement here. So it looks like it's going to be 14. That's perfect 16. I have to cut it to 14. I don't have any choice. Then we'll take the sides off. It's just to get some bow in both directions. So let's go to 15 and then 14. That looks like. Come down to 14, take one off, and then we'll be good. That's a full width cut at the beginning. It's ain't good in that. Okay. So what this means to me is that 14 inches, even if I get a 14 by 14, if I get 10 boards, which I'll still get more than that, I'll still have over 130 square feet, which is perfectly fine. Now we're going to try and flip this thing up, and it's going to be pretty heavy on this flip. See if I can get one of my dogs up. Oh, yeah. Yep. See if we get her squared up like that. I'll try to flip it by myself. This side, there are no knots in it at all. There is one little knot right here, unfortunately. But that's on the edge, so that'll be fine. Oh, let that log dog assist fall down in a bad spot. See if I can, I'm going to need this on this pass. Shouldn't have let it flip over. Okay. Now I have it back upright again. So I can slide it in when I go to flip it. This is going to be heavy as shit. Okay, good. I got it nice and low. If I can get this thing up, I think I can do it. Oh. want to get a little closer to the log dog assist so I can use it. Oh, my whole log rest came out down there. I don't know what that means. Okay. My pin came out of my, I'll show you guys, out of my log rest down there. I'm not using that one, but I'll see if it's going to cause a problem. So my pin came out of this. I think I have to back off that other side, get that pin back in, see if I can. I'm going to pause you guys while I try to fix this. Get you back over here. We're almost ready to go here. Pause you guys a second, see if I can fix that. All right, so after a little battle, we're all good. Now you can see this side has no knots in it at all, except for this one little one right here. This side's got about 4 in the middle, right in the middle. Our top cut on this side is going to be, I'm 19 safe. I think it's bowed up, so I'm going to have to take more off this side. I think I'm just going to come to, I think I'm going to take it at 20 and then at 19, 20 and then 20 and eighth and then 19 is what it looks like on this side. Once we get into a cant, we can try to mill the cleanest sides for wane-free wood. So I'm going to take it at 20 and an eighth and then 19. Yep, let's take it there. Could have probably stolen an 8-footer out of this if I had gone a little higher. I think it's sticking with the sap. It's got a lot of sap in it. Could have stolen an 8-footer out of this. Might still do that later. Nope. This is nice and clean. We're going to come down to 19 here. Get a board off this. It'll be nice and clear. Getting sap all over everything. Now, if there are no knots under this cut, I'll take another board. And there are knots under this cut, so I will not. So this is a completely clear board. Probably going to end up being somewhere around 10 inches wide. Keep this one up here to get edged off after. That knot cluster is right here. There are some sticking through here. So we're going to flip it over. And it's pretty heavy. So we're going to try and flip it over, I should say. Hopefully this doesn't roll back on me when I take these dogs out. And it's going to try. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my log dog assist in it. See if I can get it flipped. And I might have to flip this a couple times, guys, to get the best boards out of this. So we're just going to see how it goes. All right, now if I get that other side up, take that other side off, start taking boards off it until we get into trouble. And this can be heavy again. Okay. I won't need a dog in it at this point. I'm going to take it down to, should end up being somewhere around 14. That's pretty low. We're going to take it at 16 first. See what 16 is going to be. Yeah, take it at 16 and then work our way down. Probably 16 and a quarter. My water's not hitting the band. I gotta move it. Okay. Still stinks. Take it to 15 and an 8. Probably take it to 14. Gonna start getting into decent boards now. No knots in it, so that's good. Let's take this to 14 and get a 1-inch board out of it, and then if there's no knots, we'll go to 12 and 7/8. Let's go to 14. Get this board off, see if there's any knots. If not, we'll go down to 12 and, oh, there's knots. All right, so this one's clear. There are no knots on this side. All the knots are on the bottom, so we're going to start taking it off the other face. Right now I am at 14 by 14. So we're going to flip it up, take one off this face. Again, it's going to be heavy. Let's see if I can take it from the other side. Okay, so we can drop our stops just a little bit. Drop them down to 5-ish. Okay, so we can't go below, say below 6 volt right now. You take this one at 12 and 7/8. I can actually, I don't want to set my scale. I just set my scale off of 14. Since I'm 14 by 14, then all my cuts will be 1 inch. So I'm going to set my magnetic scale to 14 for a 1-inch scale. That way all my cuts will be 1 inch from here out. So we're going to drop down to 12 and 7/8, take it off there. I'm going to pause you guys 1 second. Kate's going to work. Hi, everybody. She always talks after I move the camera. Hold on. All right, so let me show you what's going on. So this pile here is clear, all 1 inch thick. Some of it needs to be edged. This one is a 1 by 14. It probably could get edged down to a 12. As you can see, there's a little bit of wane on it. He could probably even deal with that too. This face is still clear, so I'm going to keep cutting on this face. When I hit knots, I will flip it, try to find a clear face. Now you can see this face here is really clear except for that one knot right there, but that will still yield a 1 by 10 to the side of it. So this face has a little internal knot cluster. So there's a baby one right there. There actually could be a board below that. There's one there and there and there. So there's a good chance that I can go pretty deep here because I don't see any other knots, that I can go pretty deep here taking boards right now. I will take them until I run out of clear wood, and then we will start spinning it and what's called grade cutting it for clear wood. Grade cutting is just a process of, you know what you want and you're going to cut the best face that you can. So that's essentially what we're doing right now, is grade cutting. It looks like this knot right here, all the bad stuff is kind of below that. So we're going to keep taking this face down, hopefully not running into any knots. And then we'll take it from there. I don't know what the bottom looks like yet. I think I saw a knot on it, or I would still be cutting on that face. So let's go ahead and just keep taking it down. We'll get all the clear material we can. Then I'll edge it all off, and we'll give him the best that we can. So this is kind of a little bit different than we're used to. And I'm actually upcharging this from my normal pine $1. So instead of $1 a board foot, this is $2 a board foot for grade cutting this log. So right now my scale, because I was 14 by 14, I was able to set my 1-inch scale off of 14. That means that no matter where I cut, I'm going to be on scale. So whether I cut here or whether I cut on this side or this side, it doesn't matter. I'll be on scale on 1-inch scale. So that will help me from having to do mathematics, but I'll still check it because I'm that way. So right now we're going to drop down, take another 1-inch board off this. And that should be like, I think we're at 12 7/8. It should be 11 3/4. And it is exactly that. So let's take this one off. Now 9 of these would do the whole order. Just to let you know, well, I just lost my clamp on my DRO. Nine of these 14-inch boards would do the entire order. So I'm already getting fairly close. Plus, you needed 8s or 10s. So this next one, I do have a small knot here and a knot here, but that's outside the 8. So I think I'm just going to take this one. Those go on the outside if they don't need to be edged. Essentially, with these couple knots, I believe, yeah, for all intents and purposes, this is still a clear board. So I think I'm going to take this one, hopefully get below that. So this should be a 10 5/8. It's important to set your scale like I did because we're going to have to keep pulling these off to take a look at the faces. Doesn't it always seem like every time I cut something, I'm always like weird close on dimension? So this is a pretty clear board. There are knots all over this face. This is going to be a problem. So I think the best thing to do right now, because there's only one knot on this face, is to flip this up this way, take them off this top side first. I can get 2 out of here probably with 1 single knot in it and probably almost 8 feet of perfect board. This one's no good. This one's no good. It's going to end up being a problem at some point here. So we'll try to flip this one back to me. do it that way. So I'm going to shove it all the way over and do it. It's amazingly difficult to grab. Might just keep going over with it. So there's nothing good on that face. There's nothing good on the bottom face. Let's see if I can get this thing in. No, I can't. Sorry it's taking so long. It's not easy to flip this big cant. And if I can't do his order like this, then I'll find another log. I mean, by the time that I edge this all off, do I think I'll get to 130 board feet? I do. Hopefully, it looks like this face here, I'm going to have one knot for at least 2 boards. So that should be okay. That gives him a big, huge, nice clear board down here. I am going to slog it down. We won't have to worry about anything till we get low. So I don't know what this is. It should be around 13, I think. Should be 12 and 7/8, where it should be. Let's see if 14's the top. Yep, 12 and 7/8. Take off an inch board there. Get ourselves in a little bit here. I do have to check what the specs are on a clear board. I don't know off the top of my head. This one's got like 3 in it. So I do have like an 8-foot clear face and then 3 knots in the other side. This stinks. So what are we width-wise now? 10.5. So there's nothing really good there. That knot cluster in the middle sucks. You know, scattered all over the place. These are all towards the bottom. These are all towards the top. That goes that way. Probably comes out there. The pith is right here. There's no good way about this, guys. I think what I'm going to have to do there's no good way about this. It's just all these knots were buried in the log. I've got 1, 2, 3 perfect, 4, 9. That's not going to be enough. That's not enough. There's no good way on this side at all. That really stinks. You know, I could get, if I take this off, I could end up with 1x6 by 7, almost 8. I think I'll take one more off this side. And I can edge those knots off. It's almost better at this point to try and find another log, to be honest with you. So this one here, there's a chance it comes out here. I've got some on this side too. This one here might come out here. Yeah, I don't see any good way of doing this. So I think what I'm going to do at this point is edge off what I have, measure it up, try and I'm going to have to grab another log. There's no two ways about it. I do have one up there that's a butt log that looks fairly clear. It's huge, which stinks. Take a look at my piles up here and see if I have anything that looks clear. I just think that it's going to be a lesson in futility trying to take this down into clear wood. There's going to be something everywhere. There's knots on both sides and on top and bottom. All in this one area right here. None of it was showing on the bark on the outside, so that stinks. The thing, I'm going to take this off, and I can't just like this because I do have a big timber frame order from the timber frame guy to complete his timber frame that I have to cut some more beams out of. And right now, this is big enough to do a chunk of that order. If I had left at 15, it would have been better. Because I think there were some 3x5s and 4x5s. Yeah, but I think there's some 4x6s, and they'll work in this. In this right now, I could get 4x6s, and I think that would be a chunk of his order. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that's as far as we can go with this. I'll find another log and get you guys on charge. I'll show you what's going on here just so you can see it. So the one I just took off, that only has one knot in it. So that's essentially clear. Those are all clear. This is clear. These are all clear. These can all be edged. This one, though, has got knots coming from every direction now in this area here. They're coming in from there. They're coming in on the top. They're coming in from the other side. And I can you see how they're coming in from this side too. There. If I knew that that knot was that knot, that would kind of help. But those look like they go straight in. And there's one little one down there. So there's no sense to take this any further. I'm just going to be fighting myself. I think before I do it, should I flip this all the way over and see if there's anything? I don't think there's anything on the other side. I'm 99% sure that I already dealt with that face. Those probably go out that face. So there's nothing really here. I mean, I don't even see that. you know, as I get down towards the pith, am I going to split those 2 knots maybe? I doubt it. With all that on that side, I doubt it. So I'm going to take this off. Once again, I do appreciate the watch. This is what happens when you mill. I do have some other material up here. The problem is that it's probably not true 1 inch. It's just less. Probably a 16th less. So I would like to mill all true 1 inch stuff for him. I do have some cants over there. They're all kind of small. They're all like 6x6. So that's not really going to do us anything. So I think the smart thing to do is just take this off, get rid of it, find another log, start cutting another log, do the same thing until I have enough material. And the only problem with doing that is the other one up there, that's a butt log, is really big. And there's no saying that I'm not going to end up in the same shit. So we'll try to find something to work with and we'll take it from there, which is why I had to upcharge for this job, guys. There's no doubt about it. So that's going to be it for now. I appreciate the watch. I wish this went better. It, like I said, from the outside of the log, you know, I can see the bark here. There was nothing on it. So I was hoping it was clear, and unfortunately it's not. So I'll find some other one and we'll take it from there. So if you have any questions, hit me up. But for now, Power Solutions out.